Hi, I'm Max. I'm 39, IT support lead, Subaru owner, gas station coffee enthusiast, and apparently the only person in my family who knows what the word fraud means. This all started at 12:17 a.m. on New Year's, exactly when most people were kissing, toasting, or doing something cliché involving fireworks. I was standing in my mom's sticky kitchen in my winter boots, staring at my phone like it had just shown me a crime scene. Because, well, it had. A fundraiser. Emergency. For Ava. Except Ava is my daughter. My very much fine, healthy, sitting in the living room playing Mario Kart daughter. And the page? It showed her photo, one I never posted, by the way, alongside the words, "Urgent medical crisis," and "Single mom needs help." Spoiler, my wife Nora was right there next to me. Fully married. Very much insured. Definitely not launching sketchy donation drives at midnight. The thumbnail? My niece Bella's face. The organizer? Not clear yet. But the donations were rolling in like we were a trending news story. $40, $75, $510. Strangers pouring out prayers and cash for a fake emergency involving my kid. Bella bounced in, sparkler in hand, and chirped, "Uncle Max! Did you see my post? It's already viral!" Like she just dropped a new makeup tutorial, not fabricated a family disaster for clout and cash. Nora leaned over my shoulder and read the blurb under Ava's photo out loud, real slow, like she thought maybe her eyes were playing tricks. "Ava needs urgent help. Medical emergency. Single mom can't cover it alone. Please donate and share." Then she looked at me and said flatly, "I'm right here. Also, we have insurance." I didn't scream. I didn't throw the phone. I just opened the fundraiser and watched as the numbers climbed like a fever. People from our church. My coworkers. Neighbors. They were donating, reposting, commenting things like, "Hang in there, sweet girl," and "I just lost my job but gave what I could." And that's when I realized, this wasn't just a bad joke. This was a full-on scheme. The kind where people go to jail on Netflix. I asked Bella point blank, "Why is Ava's name on this?" She blinked like I asked her why water's wet. "Because people know her. And Grandma's behind on the mortgage. It's a family crisis." My stomach turned. A few feet away, Ava tugged my sleeve. "Can I have another Sprite?" she asked, like she hadn't just become the face of a GoFundMe scam. In the background, the total hit $2,800. It was still rising. I turned to my mom and said, "What is this?" She didn't even look up. Just raised an empty glass and said, "Happy New Year, honey." It took everything in me not to launch the phone into the backyard like a frisbee. Instead, I clicked refresh. $3,300. And that's when I felt it. Not rage, not panic, something colder. A click inside. Like a lock turning in the opposite direction. I'd spent my whole life patching holes for this family. Quietly. Steadily. But this? This was different. This was my kid. By 9:10 a.m., on New Year's Day, the fundraiser had passed $26,000. We were still at my mom's house, pretending breakfast wasn't haunted by a crime scene in progress. Nora was flipping pancakes on a scratched-up gas stove because the griddle had died sometime in 2014. I was reading donor names off the screen like a Sunday obituary list. "Your boss drew $300, Nora said. "Your old neighbor, Mrs. Hardy, $50. Oh, and Michelle from church sent $1,000. She wrote for Ava's specialist." "Specialist?" I said, flipping a pancake I'd already burned. "For what, leg cramps?" Ava was fine. Had a minor tummy ache after eating too many candy canes at the church play. That was the grand medical emergency. And yet, here we were, staring at a fake hospital copay line item that somehow justified a $25,000 fundraiser, now overshooting its goal like it was proud of the lie. It wasn't just the money. It was the comments. Emma from Ava's class. "Nora, can Ava FaceTime? My mom says we can bring soup." Malik. "What hospital? I'll swing by. I'm nearby." My Aunt Liza. "Why didn't you call us? We have an HSA we can share." And every time someone asked a question, my sister Tessa slid in like a PR rep caught in a scandal. Max asked for privacy. It's delicate. There's legal stuff. Legal stuff? You mean fraud? I cornered her in the kitchen, right between the empty mimosa pitcher and the raisin bread no one touched. Are you out of your mind? She looked at me like I'd asked if rain was wet. Do not talk to me like I'm stupid in front of my kid. Bella was perched on a stool nearby, smearing cream cheese on a bagel like she hadn't just publicly sold my daughter's face to the internet. We should move the goal to 30,000, she said. Momentum matters. It wasn't a donation page to them, it was a business strategy. At 2:44 p.m., the first crack. Cousin Luke, the blunt HVAC guy who smells lies like carbon monoxide, commented publicly. Which hospital? I know a billing manager at UH. I can negotiate the copay. 20 minutes later. Also, this says rent relief. Whose rent? Max owns? Tessa fired back from the fundraiser account. Please stop harassing this family during a crisis. People liked her comment. A few sent heart emojis. A woman named Annie P. commented. This is what's wrong with society. Everyone's suspicious when we should be helping each other. My mom didn't say much until I confronted her directly in the den. Her old iPad was open to the page, one cracked corner, still chugging. Don't ruin this, she said without even looking up. You're using Ava, I said. This is her name. Her face. Her tone dropped into that sad, tired voice she uses when she's making bad decisions sound noble. People don't give for old women behind on bills, Max. They give for children. She said it like she was reciting a truth from the back of a cereal box. I left the room with a knot in my throat. Sat down in a floral chair that used to feel like home. Ava was playing Monopoly with her cousins, asking why there were so many jail cards. My wife handed me a glass of water and said, You're pale. I opened the fundraiser again. Tapped the 3 dots. About this fundraiser. Nothing new. Just the same lies, the same rising total. Then I noticed a tiny link. View payouts. I tapped it. Access denied? Unless you're the admin. So I logged in. New account. My work email. I confirmed with a code on my phone. Toggled back. Still blocked. That's when Bella walked into the doorway and squeaked. Uncle Max, what are you doing? I stared at her like she was a stranger. I want to know where the money goes, I said. Grandma's. She shrugged. Duh. I asked. How do you know? She blinked again. Because she set the bank account. It pays out automatically in 2 to 3 business days. She said it like she was reading the weather. Not like she was describing how they were about to commit wire fraud. I stepped back inside and put on the voice I save for when executives are breathing down my neck because their Zoom audio isn't working. Tessa, I said. Open the payout settings. Now. Tessa laughed. That laugh she does when she's trying to act unbothered but her lip twitches. Max, don't be a buzzkill. People are still giving. Then Mom appeared behind her like a bad pop-up ad. Arms folded. That familiar tilt to her head. Make your daughter take the blame and pay it back, she said. Calm. Like she was ordering a coffee. Say she misunderstood. It was like they'd rehearsed this part. Nora looked at me, eyes full of static. No words, just that quiet, steady look we'd mastered over the years. The one that meant, don't explode now. Do the next right thing. I didn't yell. I didn't slam a door. I just held out my hand. Phone, I said. Tessa rolled her eyes hard enough I swear I heard it. I'm not a child. I know, I said. That's why you can open the settings. People started drifting toward us from the kitchen. Cups in hand. Pretending to tidy, but they were watching. Like birds circling a fresh bag of chips. Luke walked in through the back door. Didn't say a word. Just leaned on the counter like he knew a show was about to start. Fine, Tessa said, and jabbed at her phone with the speed only anger can fuel. She opened the fundraiser app. Tapped through the screens, lips tight. Settings. Payouts. Then it appeared. One line of text. Quiet. Unassuming. The kind of sentence that doesn't look like much unless you're paying attention. Linked bank account, Marlene Carter. Account holder, Marlene Carter. Organizer, Tessa Carter, admin. My mother's name on the payout. And my daughter's name on the front line of the lie. I tilted the screen toward Mom. She looked at it. Didn't even blink. It's my house, she said, like we were playing Monopoly, and she just bought Boardwalk. Luke let out a sharp bark of a laugh. Oh, this is rich, he said. You're using the kid as the hook to pay off your cable. It's propane, Mom snapped, offended. And the mortgage. Luke raised a hand like a preacher mid-sermon. Say hospital again. I dare you. Tessa squared her shoulders and smiled, tight, cruel. Guess your kid's a little faker, she said, like she just dropped a mic. She told everyone she had a tummy ache at the Christmas play. It hit like a slap. Nora gasped. I didn't say anything. I didn't look at my wife or my kid. I just kept my eyes locked on that little line of text, Marlene Carter. Then I said the one word that meant everything and nothing at once. Okay. The kind of okay you say when you're done being a shelf for other people's weight. The kind of okay that means this ends now. At 6:11 p.m. I opened my own bank app and took screenshots of everything, my balance, my bills, the mortgage due in 3 days. At 6:14, I texted Drew, my boss. Hey, sorry for the confusion. It's a family thing. Please don't donate more. He replied in 2 minutes, got it. You're good. That little text grounded me. Reminded me I still had a life that made sense outside this circus. At 6:20, I sat at my mom's chipped kitchen table and grabbed a receipt from Speedway out of my wallet. I flipped it over and started a list. Screenshot, payout settings, mom's account. Screenshot, fundraiser description, hospitalization, copay, etc. Screenshot, Ava's photo in the title. Screenshot, total raised and timestamp. Statement, short, no drama. Just facts. At 6:27, the platform sent an auto alert. You're trending. The total flashed to $27,140. It felt like watching a bruise spread in real time. At 6:33, the first crack in their perfect lie, a refund request, popped into the comments. Luke had posted a 5-word bomb. This is misrepresented. Full stop. People started to wake up. A woman named Annie P. commented, Wait, is this not for a medical issue? Tessa tried to spin, please respect our privacy during this difficult time. Bella dropped a heart emoji and a we love this community. And me? I got ready. I called in the main characters. No open mic. No full-blown family meeting with paper plates and drunk uncles. Just the players, Mom. Tessa. Bella. Look. Aunt Liza, because she's kind. And Nora beside me, holding Ava, asleep in her arms. Everyone else hovered in the kitchen, pretending not to eavesdrop. I stood by the TV, next to a porcelain angel and a dusty photo of Dad at Cedar Point. I'm going to say this once, I said. Then I'm taking action. Tessa smirked, lips curled like she was watching a rerun of a show she already knew the ending to. He's making a speech, she whispered to Bella, loud enough for me to hear. I didn't flinch. I tapped a button on my phone. The TV screen behind me lit up with a fundraiser page, mirrored straight from my phone. First slide. Ava's photo. Big, bright, timestamp December 31st, 11:58 p.m. Headline. Emergency fund for Ava. Hospitalization needed. The room went so still you could hear someone exhale. Second slide. The About section. I zoomed in. Highlighted. Urgent hospitalization and recovery. Specialist consult. Single mom can't cover costs. Third slide. Payout settings. Marlene Carter, my mother, listed as the bank account. Admin Tessa Carter. The fraud wrapped in a neat little bow. Luke let out a low whistle like he was watching a fireworks finale. Aunt Liza gasped and put a hand over her mouth. Bella whispered, Uncle Max. Like I had just betrayed her trust, not exposed the lie that wore my daughter's face. Tessa, still playing the PR role, tried her last card. She waved a hand like none of it mattered. You know what? People give for all sorts of reasons. Rent is a health issue. Heat is a health issue. It's not like this is court. I nodded. Exactly right, I said. And this isn't court. It's simpler than that. I opened the platform's help center and read it aloud in my IT support voice. Calm. Flat. Like I was guiding someone through a frozen password reset. Misrepresentation violates the terms. Organizers must refund donors upon request. Platform may suspend payouts and reverse funds. And then I did it. I tapped Report Fundraiser. Selected fraud/misleading content. Typed. Organizer used the child's name and image without consent. Claimed hospitalization that did not occur. Link payout to grandmother's account for personal bills. I am the child's father. Attached screenshots. All of them. Tessa lunged like I'd pulled a fire alarm. No, Max! Stop! You're going to make it worse. It already is worse, Nora said softly, the first word she'd spoken since the room filled. 2 minutes later, my phone buzzed. An email from the platform. Subject: withdrawals paused pending review. Step 6. The system responding. Tessa turned on Bella instantly. Why did you say it was Grandma's bank? Bella's voice cracked. You said it was fine. You told me. You don't repeat everything, Bella. My phone buzzed again. Another email. Not the platform. Cash App. Someone had sent $1,200 directly to my mom, with a note. For Ava's hospital visit. Love, Michelle W. Michelle from church. The woman who brought cupcakes to the fall bake sale and once mailed Ava a card with glitter stickers because she sneezed during Sunday service. I opened Mom's iPad, yes, her iPad, and searched her inbox. I didn't touch anything. Just read the subject line. $1, 200 received from Michelle W. Timestamp, 6:51 p.m. I didn't screenshot it. Wasn't mine to take. I just stared at the proof and felt my stomach turn again. This has to stop, I said. Quiet. Final. Mom crossed her arms. You don't tell me what to do in my house. I'm not going to argue, I said. Here's what's going to happen next. And then I laid it out like a checklist in a crisis response meeting. 5 clear steps. First, I'm removing Ava's photo from the shared family album. Second, I'm emailing every person we know personally who donated. I'm including the refund request link. Third, I'm asking the platform to reroute funds to donors where possible. Fourth, I'm sending a short statement in the family group chat to avoid confusion. Fifth, I'm blocking anyone who tries to use Ava's image again without my permission. Mom's face went hard. Don't you dare cut me off from my granddaughter. And there it was. The real threat. Not the money. The access. Being a grandmother is not a login. I said. Tessa pointed a finger at me like I was on trial. If you post about this, I will say your daughter lied. Nora stepped forward. Say it, she said. Come on. Say it out loud. Right now. As a mother. Say my daughter faked a disease for your rent. Tessa shut her mouth so fast her teeth clicked. And then, something unexpected happened. Aunt Liza, always quiet, always neutral, looked straight at my mother and said, This is wrong. Just 3 words. But they were enough. Enough to snap whatever loyalty spell held that house together like old tape. I turned off the TV. We're leaving, I said. We're taking Ava home. Mom's voice dropped to something pitiful. Don't. It's late. The roads. We'll go slow. At 7:22 p.m., we zipped Ava into her blue puffer. I carried her out to the Subaru, asleep on my shoulder. As I buckled her in, she murmured, Midnight was sparkly, and fell back asleep. On the drive home, I dictated a message while Nora typed. New Year's update. The fundraiser using Ava's name is fraudulent. She's not hospitalized. The payout was linked to my mother's account, with my sister as admin. I've reported it. Withdrawals are paused. If you donated, here's how to request a refund, link. If you sent money directly to my mom, contact her. Please don't send money unless it's directly from me or Nora. We love you. Max. We hit send at 7:49 p.m. The rest of the drive was silent. But it was the kind of silence that finally felt clean. The next 72 hours were what I can only describe as a slow-motion controlled demolition. A house of lies, torn down beam by beam, email by email, refund by refund. Monday, 9:06 a.m., the platform sent an update. Fundraiser suspended pending review. Withdrawals paused. Page still live. Donate button disabled. They froze the total at $27,140. The comments? A title shift. Refund requested. Wait, what's going on? Why isn't Ava's dad saying anything? A few still defended it. Not your business. Let this family heal. But the tide had turned. People were connecting the dots, and fast. 11:22 a.m. My inbox blew up. Raul from my bowling league. Refund filed. Michelle. I sent $1,000. We'll handle directly with your mom. Hugs to Ava. Emma's mom. Mad on your behalf. Still bringing soup. I replied to each with a simple thank you. Ava's fine. Appreciate your kindness. 12:40 p.m. Tessa posted on Facebook. Tried to do good. Family tore me down. Sad it came to this. A cousin tagged me. I didn't respond. Didn't bite. Because when you have proof, silence isn't weakness. It's power. 10:03 p.m. My mom left me a voicemail. People are calling. You made a mess. I didn't reply. I saved it. Tuesday, 3:18 p.m. The platform asked for verification. I sent. Ava's insurance card, redacted. A note from her pediatric portal. Routine checkup, December 12th. Screenshots of the original fundraiser description. The payout settings. Ava's photo with the timestamp. They replied, thank you. We will complete our review shortly. Wednesday, 8:02 a.m. My credit union flagged an attempted external deposit. Payout blocked. Sender, go help. Status reversed. They tried to sneak the funds through. The bank bounced it back. I screenshotted the alert and saved it. 10:27 a.m. Bella texted me. I'm sorry. I didn't think. I know. I wrote back. That's why adults have to. She sent a crying emoji and a heart. I didn't respond. Not because I was punishing her, but because there wasn't anything left to say. 2:50 p.m. Aunt Liza texted. Your mother says you told Ava to lie at Christmas. I actually laughed out loud. 3 candy canes and a stomach ache. That was the grand performance they were going to pin this on. 9:41 p.m. Luke, my cousin the human freight train, texted me a photo. The Speedway receipt I'd used to write my bullet list. Found your manifesto. It's weirdly solid. I'm stealing that format. Burn it. Already did. Thursday, 12:15 p.m. HR sent me a wellness check. Max, need AP? Just flag it. We got you. I'm okay, I replied. And for the first time in days I meant it. 4:36 p.m. Final decision from the platform. Violation confirmed. Donors will be refunded within 3 to 10 business days. Do not solicit alternative fundraisers. I forwarded it to the family chat and muted the thread. That night, I sat down at my desk with a cold Diet Dr. Pepper and wrote out new boundaries like they were lines of code. Remove Mom and Tessa from the shared photo album. Change Mom's Wi-Fi password to a random 16-character string. Disable guest access. Log out of her Netflix. Switch her to the free plan. Sign out my Apple ID from her iPad. No Spot Me payments unless it fits my budget. Vendors only, paid directly. Anyone who uses Ava's name or photo for money loses access. No calls after 9 p.m. No emotional emergencies without receipts. No Facebook wars. 1 statement. 2 sentences. Then silence. I went to bed and slept for 10 full hours. No alerts. No buzzing. No pit in my stomach. Just quiet. And in that quiet, I finally felt the weight shift. For the first time in years, I wasn't bracing for someone else's fall. I was building my own ground. By Friday, the Undoing had a scoreboard. 2:03 p.m. Refunds processed, $12,760. 7:22 p.m. Total refunded, $4,010 more. The page still showed $27,140 raised, but the numbers were bleeding out like a slow leak in a tire. By Saturday afternoon, the fundraiser was marked unavailable. No redirect. No apology. Just gone. Michelle still brought cupcakes to church. She hugged Ava so tight you'd think the girl had survived a bear attack. Ava just smiled and asked if the sprinkles were edible. They were. Bella messaged me late that night. "Grandma's mad I told you." "You told the truth," I wrote. "I'm not holding a grudge. I'm holding a line." She didn't reply. Sunday, I helped Ava with a school project. Trifold board. Photos. Facts. She chose Marie Curie because she was the science lady who kept going even when things were awful. Felt right. Meanwhile, Mom posted a passive-aggressive Bible verse. "Honor thy mother and father." Classic. Tessa posted a quote graphic that looked like it came from a sad Etsy account. "Toxic people play the victim." Nobody commented. I didn't engage. No quote tweets. No clapbacks. Because proof does something no argument ever will, it ends the performance. The screenshots were still saved in my phone, untouched. I never threatened with them. I didn't need to. The platform's final email had said enough. Confirmed violation. No further payout. Repeated infractions may result in permanent ban of associated accounts. I forwarded it to Mom and Tessa with no subject line. No message. Just the facts. They didn't respond. That weekend, Nora and I went to Target. Ava used her gift card to buy a new beanie, the same yellow as the one Bella had pulled from the shared album without asking. This one had a patch that said, "Kind is cool." She wore it in the checkout line and beamed like she just won a trophy. Nora nudged me and whispered, "You good?" I nodded. Not because everything was fixed. Not because the world had suddenly become fair. But because for once, I wasn't patching anyone's mess but my own. Later that night, I opened my old spreadsheets. Bills January 2025. Autopay tracker. Meal plan, stretch weeks. I didn't feel shame about budgeting. I felt proud. Ava came over and pointed at one tab. "What's that one?" "That's where I write down everything I pay for," I said. "So I don't lose track." "Do you write down cupcakes?" she asked. "Only the important ones," I said. She smiled and wandered off. I sat back in my chair and realized something simple but hard-earned. Just because I'd always been the helper didn't mean I had to be the hostage. Not anymore. The weird thing was, once the page was gone and the money started reversing, there was no real apology. No confession. No call. Just silence. Like they'd all decided that if they didn't say anything, maybe I'd forget the part where they turned my daughter into a cash register. Mom didn't call. Tessa didn't text. But I started hearing things sideways. Aunt Liza told me that Mom said the platform overreacted. Bella posted a TikTok about cancel culture in families. It had 12 views and one comment that said, "LOL what?" Luke sent me a screenshot of it with the caption, "Someone's been watching too much Lifetime." The family group chat limped along without me. It was all casserole photos and weather updates. No one mentioned the fundraiser. It was like someone died and no one wanted to talk about the will. Then came the dinner invite. A week later, out of nowhere, Tessa sent Nora a text. Not me. Nora. Hey. Family dinner Sunday. Lasagna. You guys coming? Nora showed it to me with an expression that said, "What do we do with this?" I stared at it. Just one text. Like it could undo 27 grand and 3 days of public humiliation. I mean, Nora said, "Do we go?" No, I said. But I'll reply. I opened the thread and typed, "Appreciate the invite. We're going to pass. Focusing on peace right now. Hope dinner's good." Tessa replied with a thumbs up. No words. Just that little cartoon hand. I showed it to Nora and said, "That might be the first non-defensive thing she sent me in 10 years. We didn't go. Instead, Sunday afternoon we baked brownies with Ava. The box kind with the oil and the 2 eggs. She insisted on stirring by hand even though it took 10 minutes and half the batter ended up on the counter. We watched The Martian while they baked. Ava liked the part where Matt Damon grew potatoes in his own poop. She asked if we could grow something in the yard this spring. Maybe strawberries, I said. No poop, though. Deal, she said. And just like that, the day felt full again. Simple, but full. At night, I went into my office and opened the shared family album one last time. There were still hundreds of photos, birthday parties, blurry fireworks shots, Ava holding a sparkler and grinning like the world had no edges. I didn't delete everything. I just removed Ava's access. No one asked? No one noticed. Or if they did, they knew better than to bring it up. The next day, HR followed up again. Still good, Max? I replied. Better than before. I meant it. My mom posted one more thing on Facebook. A blurry photo of her dog with the caption, "Some people forget loyalty. Dogs never do." Tessa commented a single word. True. Luke texted me a screenshot with, "Is that aimed at you or is the dog being cancelled too?" I replied, "Don't care. Just feeding the strawberries now." I wasn't feeding them. Not yet. But I was planning. And it felt like a start. 2 weeks later, the last refund hit. I got a quiet email from the platform. All eligible donations refunded. Case closed. Thank you for your report. No fireworks. No. Justice has been served. Banner. Just a quiet little sentence that felt like the end of a long, jagged chapter. I sat in the kitchen with a mug of reheated coffee and stared at that message for a while. Nora came in, hair still damp from the shower, and asked, "You okay?" "I think so," I said. "It's over." She nodded, took the mug out of my hand, and sipped it herself. "You're getting better at not holding the bag." "Trying." She raised an eyebrow. "Trying?" "I also deleted Mom's HBO login," I said. "That's growth." Ava ran in 5 seconds later, in socks on the wood floor, slid halfway across the room, and held up a flyer for her STEM club. "Look," she said. "They're doing a rocket launch next month." "Are we launching anything?" I asked. "Water bottles and baking soda." I nodded. That feels right. That night, after she went to bed, I finally opened a new spreadsheet. Blank. Untitled. Just rows and rows of clean little cells. I named it 2025 hours. Not bills. Not survival math. Just a list of the things we want. Nora added 1. Then I added 2. Ava came in and added, "Trip to the museum with dinosaurs." Because she said that counted. And yeah, it does. The next weekend, we walked to the park as a family. Light jackets. Thermos of cocoa. Nora brought a book. Ava brought a hula hoop. I brought absolutely nothing, which felt weird and wonderful. We sat on a bench and didn't talk about money. Or family. Or Facebook. Just watched Ava spin the hoop and laugh like the sound itself could power the world. On the walk home, Nora asked, "Do you think your mom will ever apologize?" "No," I said. "I think she thinks I ruined everything. Do you care?" I looked down at Ava, skipping ahead in her yellow beanie, arms out like airplane wings. "No," I said. "I really don't." Later, I got a notification. Bella had posted a reel. It was of her new dorm move-in. Different city. Different school. Caption said, "Fresh start. Doing better this time." I liked it. Just a like. No comment. No DMs. Sometimes, the best help is boundaries. Aunt Liza sent a card in the mail. It had a photo of a sailboat and inside she wrote, "Proud of how you handled everything. Quiet strength isn't quiet to those who see it." I pinned it above my desk. And then I closed every old tab on my browser, Fundraiser, comments, platform policy, receipts. Every single one. Because the thing about boundaries is they're not walls to keep people out. They're doors you lock when someone steals from your kid and calls it help. They're what you build when you've been the helper so long, you forgot you were allowed to stop. I still fix things. But now, I start with myself. And I don't clean up messes I didn't make. Not anymore.